Today we're going to be talking about life insurance. We're joined by Mike Winstanley from Bentley Reid. He's obviously in the news at the moment. A lot of people have been unfortunately losing their lives through natural disasters and around the Winter Olympics as well. It happens every year. So we thought it would be important to jump on and discuss life insurance, why it's important, and what the process looks like.
My name is Mike Winstanley. As you say, I'm a wealth manager, financial advisor at Bentley Reid. So we are we're able to advise on a whole manner of things: pensions, investments, international investments, and mainly for today's purposes, insurance.
So remind us why SnowOnly buyers should use a financial advisor to get an insurance or a life insurance out instead of doing it themselves.
Yeah, sure. So I think the headline is you absolutely can do it yourself. You can go on and do it yourself. Why would you maybe not want to? If you have anything like you have a previous medical condition, you're on some sort of medication, or you have a family history of things like strokes, heart attacks, and cancers, then it's sometimes very important which life insurance company you choose. The life insurance company you actually end up going with can have a real impact on the actual premiums, the amount that you pay. If you go yourself to an insurer, you have to give your name and your details to them. And so if, for example, that insurer may not be overly sympathetic to you, they have your data and they could share that with other places. If you go through an intermediary, you go through a financial advisor, you go through someone like me, the first thing that we'll do is get an understanding of your situation. We'll get an understanding of your medical history, your age, your residency, smoker status, family history. And what we do is we collate that and then we send that over on a no-names discreet basis to a load of other insurers. And then what we do is we cherry pick the insurer that's going to be most sympathetic to your needs. So I think it's if you are looking at getting insurance, you can go on your own and the cost is X. And if you're a standard person, there's nothing wrong with you. You go on your own, the cost is X. You go through us, the cost is exactly the same. The cost is exactly the same. There's no difference between going through a financial advisor and going through something online. But you just have that peace of mind that is the cost X. It's exactly the same. It's not going to give you a nasty surprise.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've been there as well, like with my car insurance and stuff like that. All of a sudden you request a quote and then everyone you speak to, they've already got your details and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's nice that it's done discreetly and you're not getting bombarded by a few different insurers, right?
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk us a little bit about the process. How does it work? Talk us through that.
Yeah, sure. So, life insurance. So we've done the quotes. We've gone to we found the most sympathetic insurer for you. How have we found that insurer? So yeah, it's based on your medical situation. It's based on medications that you're on. It's based on family history. It's also based on your age, your smoker status, and your residency. And we've gone through all of that, and then we have found this insurer. We found your bride, basically. And we bring you both together. And the application process. So what does it look like? You do all of that insurance application. You do all of your underwriting basically at the start. So as you would maybe hope, you're only insured at the start as opposed to at the end. An insurer, if there is a claim that's needed, i.e. if you pass away, an insurer won't then start digging into everything too much and saying, did you have any medical problems or anything like that? You're insured at the start as opposed to at the end. And that's like probably one of the most common questions I get asked, basically. So what do? We have a little chat. There's an application form we do together. It's normally around 25, 30 minutes to do the full application form. It's not overly onerous. We've already probably had a conversation before where we've got your details anyway. We click submit on the application form. A request goes through to your GP for a medical report. There is a cost associated with that, but the insurance company takes that cost on. You can see that report, so you can get access to that report. You can see that before it goes to the insurance company or after. It's totally up to you. You have that choice. So the GP report is one part of it. The other part of it is you may need to do some medical tests. Normally, for most people that we see coming through, it's just standard medical tests. So what are they? A blood test, a urine test, like cotinine test, which is basically like a test just to see whether or not your smoker status matches your actual smoking status. If you are insuring quite significant amounts, like say over £3 million, then yeah, there might be other tests like an ECG might be required. Or if you've got a very specific medical history which requires further tests, then yeah, that can be included in that as well. But most of the time, the standard people we see, they just do those normal tests. So when you do those tests, the insurance company will pay for you to go to a private place to do those tests. It's normally what they do is they have these sites all around the UK. So you can find a site within a mile or two of your house. So it's very useful in that way. In some situations, you can choose to use your own GP to do the tests, but they obviously have to have the equipment there to do the tests. So I normally just check from the insurance company what their test would be, and then I normally just check with your GP and make sure that they've got the equipment there in order to be able to do those tests. So the medical tests and the GP report are the two real big things that come with that. But once all that's done, that's basically it. So you've got your application form is 1. You've got those GP report, which is 2, medical test, which is 3. Once all of that information has been sent over to the insurers, their underwriting team, so those are the people that actually kind of check everything off, they will then look at those initial quotes we've done, and then they'll look at your medical history, and they'll look at the GP report, and they'll look at those tests. And what they'll say is, does this person match those initial quotes? And if we've done that work at the start, the work that I said right at the start about like why use a financial advisor, if we've done that right, then we've got a really good level of confidence that the quotes that we provided you are the quotes that match at the end. If we didn't do that at the start, then we have no confidence at all because we have no idea who you are. So that's why we do it in this kind of like almost like staggered approach. We do a lot of the work at the start so we don't have a nasty surprise later on. But if they are comfortable, they'll offer final terms. We'll write you a report as well. So you as the client, as I said at the start, I'm FCA regulated. I write that report to you. That's an FCA regulated report. So you've got the peace of mind that is a regulated report based on your situation and your needs. And we confirm all the different values in there. So once you've got the report, you can choose for the policy to go, it's called on risk, basically go live, and you can choose whatever day you want it to go live. So you can go live. And then as soon as that's done, I've mentioned this in another video, so I won't go into too much detail on it now, but once that's done, you can submit a trust form. And so basically naming who your beneficiaries are, you put that in, and then you're done. Like you're away basically. So hopefully that's it's pretty concise in terms of what the process is. Hopefully it doesn't sound too onerous because it isn't.
Yeah, it sounds pretty straightforward, and it makes sense that you do it in that way. Trying to get the quotes as close to what the final ones are going to be by having the information, it being discreet as well, and obviously you guys being FCA regulated is really gives buyers the peace of mind, right? That they're dealing with someone reputable, which is great. How long does the process actually take on average?
It is different per client, so it does depend on what their medical situation is. But if we say a client is introduced to me, we do those initial quotes and whatever that is. From the moment we click apply, normally a request is sent to the GP report for a GP report within 24 hours, and that can sometimes take 2 weeks to come back. As soon as you also clicked apply at the same time, you will basically immediately get asked to go and book your medical test. And you can do that test normally within 2 to 3 days of the application. And if you use a private facility, they will send the results of that test basically sometimes within 1 day to the insurance company. So the drag, as it were, is like just getting the GP report, and that's mainly just due to like GP wait times. But if you assume 2 weeks for the GP report to come back, and then let the underwriters have 5 working days to make a decision, that gets you to around 3 weeks. And then there can be a couple of days just for me and you to sort of agree, is this the way forward? As in like, we'll send you that report and everything. So I think the process from start to finish of that application process is normally around 3 and a bit weeks, basically. If you've got any medical, issues, or if there's anything that comes up that, you might be, if something comes up in a test that you might want to get checked, then obviously like that might take a little bit longer. But no, normally like 3 weeks is a good time frame for someone who's on just a standard person, basically.
What's the best age for someone to get a life insurance?
Yeah, that's the best age. You're only ever going to be as young as you are right now. And the younger you are, the cheaper it is. The younger you are, the cheaper just the standard quotes are. But also, right now, a lot of people watching this are probably don't have any like medical conditions. But the older you get, you have the potential to have those medical conditions. Not only can the premiums increase, but if you do get one of those quite serious medical conditions, then it is very likely an insurer won't cover you anyway. And so normally in the good times, you buy insurance for the not so good times. So I would always say to people, I think the only thing that would ever hold someone back from buying insurance is purely if, the amount that they want to insure now is just not suitable for the future. So, if in the future you're going to be worth 3 million, but you can only insure 50 grand at the moment, then, that's something to consider. But otherwise, you're only as young as you are now. You lock in now for the cheapest rates. The older you are before you buy insurance, the more expensive the insurance is on a standard basis, and the more likely it is that you will have some level of premium increase, premium uplift, the cost increase over the standard rate because of any sort of medical concerns.
I actually spoke to a guy yesterday who's did a competitive skiing. I think it was a race in Sweden. So we do have, all kinds of different level of skiers. Any differences between, a normal skier and a competitive skier that we need to know about regarding life insurance?
If you're a normal person, like sort of like me and you, just general skiing for pleasure, on piste, just boring, but like having a good time.
Vanilla.
yeah, vanilla. If you're going for a vanilla ski, then then there's no premium uplift. But if you're going full goo, and if you're going to do some different sort of skiing, then if you're doing something like heli skiing, which I've never done but sounds fun, then there can be an increase. So different insurers do different things. I've spoken to a couple and they say there's a £2 increase per £1,000 of cover you buy. So £2 over the standard rate basically is not huge, but it is something just to take into account. If you're skiing off piste, there's and you admit it, there's a £1 premium increase over £1 per 1,000 over. You raised a good one on competitive skiing, and to be honest, that's so bespoke to that individual and what they're doing. If you do, if you're watching this and you do any sort of competitive skiing, you absolutely can get insurance. You absolutely can be underwritten, but we would just need to take it kind of completely offline and just understand exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, and what it qualifies for, and effectively you would get a bespoke term specific to you. So kind of for competitive skiing, basically there isn't a playbook. It's bespoke to that individual, but you absolutely can be insured.
Perfect. Cool. So it sounds like even if you're, a bit more of an avid skier and doing the heli skiing and stuff like that, then it's not that big of a difference on the life insurance premium.
No, we've genuinely in the past 6 months had people who have done heli skiing, who do heli skiing, who have bought insurance through us, and it has been no issue whatsoever.
Perfect.
So yeah, not at all.
Yeah, great. Good to know. Okay, cool. Let's leave it there. Anyone that's watched this far, thank you very much for joining us. We hope the information was useful. And yeah, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you want more of these videos. We'll be bringing Mike and other experts back onto the channel, so stay tuned for more videos. Mike, as always, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And have a good rest of your day.
You too. My pleasure. Cheers, everyone.